Welcome to the Cash Flow Guys podcast. Join Tyler and his team as they unlock the secrets to achieving financial independence through wealth-building strategies inspired by Robert Kiyosaki and other thought-provoking leaders.
Learn to build leveraged streams of cash flow that land in your pocket and improve your quality of life.
Gain access to cutting-edge ideas that will increase your productivity and streamline your success. Find out how to supercharge your retirement plan so you won't have to retire with a pay cut.
You can escape the rat race.
Are you ready?
It's time to Learn to Earn with Tyler Sheff.
Welcome to the Cash Flow Guys podcast. This week, we have a special treat. This is a little different. Today, I've got Larry Harbolt in the studio. Larry, are you with me?
I'm with you.
This is also going to be an episode on Larry's podcast. For those of you that don't know or maybe haven't figured it out yet, Tyler, produce Larry's show. And I want to kind of give you guys a little feedback on, or a little information of how this came together. We were brought together by a mutual friend. His name is Chris Kermistos. He brought us together because he knew that Larry needed some help in the technical department to get his message out as far as podcasting. I was about a year in, Larry, at that point.
Right.
In podcasting. So I had a little bit more experience, enough to be dangerous anyway, right? But I needed additional mentoring because I'm always learning. I always wanted to learn it. And Larry has been somebody that I've taken his courses in the past. I wanted to learn more. So Larry and I teamed up, basically. He mentors me in real estate. I mentor him in podcasting and internet marketing, and it turned out to be a great relationship. And it's been about a year now, hasn't it?
It's been a little over a year, yes.
Okay. So this episode, we're going to do something a little different, something that we really want to talk about to both my audience and Larry's. I ask you to bear with us because there's one thing that we were just having a conversation with the mics off about a whole different topic, and there's one thing that really drives us both crazy, and at the same time, may have an impact on a lot of people by keeping them from providing value. So this episode, we're going to take time to address that issue. And just call it like we see it and head up front. Now, one of the reasons why both audiences, mine and yours, Larry, and we share audiences to a certain degree, but I think one of the things that people respect about both of us is that we got no bullshit. We're right to the point.
Correct.
And the one thing that you said, and it struck a chord with me, is that you cannot stand being considered a guru.
That's right. I don't.
What's interesting.
Don't like it at all.
No, I don't either. What's interesting about that, though, is that there was a time that being a guru was not necessarily in real estate, but just in general, was a badge of honor. It was something worth having. It meant that you were an expert in your field. There was no negative connotation to that. And now we're in 2017, almost 2018. And a guru is a negative thing. And you've been in the education space for 17 years now, right?
Yes.
You've been a real estate investor for 38 years.
Correct.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's not a whole lot you haven't seen by this point, right?
Well, I've seen a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting started, are you?
Oh, yeah. And boy, have I made a lot of mistakes in that 18 or 38 years.
Amen. You know, one of the big mistakes I made, and I think you've made this too, but I'm gonna be the first one to admit it, is I thought that when I got back into real estate investing, and those of you that have never heard me before, I got out of real estate investing for about 5 years. I went and got a real job, worked for the government. And what I discovered there is that although I worked for the government, made ridiculous amounts of money, they took half of it in taxes. So back to real estate. I can make more money now and pay almost no tax. I digress. When I came back the second time, as I call it, around my second act, the one thing I discovered is that everybody's an expert. Everybody's got a course, right?
Mm-hmm. Whether they know anything or not, they have a course.
Right. You do a deal, or even somebody tells you about a deal, and now suddenly you're writing a course over it. And so this episode, we want to talk about gurus, the people the book and tape people, the schmarmy, that got the Lambo lifestyle. Nothing against people that have a Lambo. And if you're successful and you think buying a Lambo makes you feel special, then by all means, knock yourself out. That's not what this is about. What this is about is, number one, identifying the difference between the gurus and the people that are actually doing the work. Larry, there's a reason why we call you the real deal. Is there not?
Yeah, there is. It's because I don't pump any bullshit. I mean, I try and give good, solid information in large quantities. Under promise, over deliver has been my motto for years.
And here's the thing that, one of the things that I think we've learned, the way you came up, and you're a student of Jack Miller.
Right.
And some of the other greats out there.
Pete Fortunato.
Pete Fortunato. John Schaub, I think, is one of your mentors as well.
Jimmy Napier, Dykes Boterford. Yes. Those are the real masters.
Are you listening, folks? Here's the thing. All the names we just mentioned, with the exception of maybe John Schaub, are not getting any younger. I think John's actually getting younger. Last time I saw him, he actually looked younger than he did the time before. I don't know what he's doing over there in Sarasota. But I want his secret. But what we're finding, folks, is that the information, and this has been my experience. I'm 47 years old, and I have only been teaching in real estate now for about a year, 2 years with the podcast. I've been in the business 18 years, and what I realized by coming back the second act is that I realized how little I actually knew. It became very clear to me after spending time with you, especially, how little I actually knew. But the problem I had was everybody had a course. I didn't know which one to pick, and the pitches get better and better and better. And I've actually sat through one of those six-figure pitches where they $100,000 will get you the extra super deluxe, whatever. What's your feedback on that?
Well, number one, I see the young people that are coming out as gurus, and in my opinion, they haven't lived long enough to know much of anything about real estate, because they may have picked up one technique, wholesaling. Well, and some of them charge $15,000 to $40,000 for a coaching program. Holy crap, I can teach you how to be a wholesaler in 15 minutes, won't cost you anything, because it's just basic knowledge. But wholesaling is one small part of the business. But all these younger people, they get a course, or they have somebody write a course. They're pitch people. They go out and pitch the course because they're making money from the sales of the courses. I don't know. I question how many of them are actually doing a lot of deals. Now, I'm sure some of them do, but I think a lot of them are just pitch people.
Well, there was an educator in the Tampa Bay area a couple of years ago. I haven't heard from him lately. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was a guy that basically developed a software system. He was out there pitching all these different courses. Truth be told, never really even done a deal. And if so, maybe one or two, and was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I heard actually into the 7-figure category out there pitching and selling courses. And here's the thing, folks, you got to ask yourself, what is the background of these people? Now, you can go on Google, and here's the thing. That which is electronic can be manipulated. In other words, I can go on and say all kinds of wonderful things about myself and make myself sound like a rock star on Google. Somebody else can go and say all kinds of things that are not necessarily nice about me, or I could say the same about another educator and wind up with a false or a created reputation. The key, folks, comes down to, is the person that's educating you, number one, approachable? And one of the things I like about your training, Larry, is every time you do a boot camp, people are signing up, and I've seen this before, where people will sign up for a class. Let's say it's the Larry Harbolt class, but when they get there, it's being taught by Tom Smith, and Larry Harbolt may not even be in the same zip code during the course, but that's not the case with you. You are actually the one doing the teaching, number one.
Correct.
We're going to meals, we're going to breakfast, we go to lunch, and we go to dinner on the first night. So people are with you. And folks, this isn't a sales pitch, this is reality. People are with you the entire day, and sometimes it's like 12 hours. I mean, we did that one marathon. We were going till 9 o'clock at night. We did a cash flow event. We taught people how to raise capital.
But Tyler, that's what people paid for.
Right.
Was they wanted to hear what I had to teach, and so I give them me as much as I can.
Folks, do you hear the mindset difference there? Do you hear the difference in that's what people need, that's what people want, and you're giving the people what they want, where the guru, folks, if they're flashing the fancy stuff, okay, I drive a Jeep Wrangler. Larry drives a Nissan, what is it?
Murano.
Yeah, Nissan Murano. The Lambo's not in the shop because neither one of us own one.
I'm not that dumb.
Exactly. Why would you spend that kind of money on a depreciating asset? For God's sake, that makes no sense. But this is a problem. And so take the time to, number one, is the person you're learning from even reachable? And I think your courses, Larry, you've got your Forever Free program on your signature course, the Red, White, and Blue program. You go to your boot camp once and you get to repeat it forever for free.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Yep. You never pay again.
Recently,
back every time I do it, every 3 or 4 months.
Hey, can I share the story about when we had Dan here in the office and we had your materials out and his response? So we had this guy, Dan, who's helping us with some of our marketing, kind of a internet marketing genius. He was here going through, we're kind of having a strategy session on how to get Larry's information mainstream, because there's the gurus will put out the stuff. They sign you up to a website. There's really no content there. It's 75% fluff and garbage. There's no real core meaty stuff. Well, Larry's got a lot of content. So he's got this program called the Never Step Into a Bank program, which when you sign up for this, and I don't have the sheet in front of me, but so pardon me for ad-libbing, but you get three ring binders that are 3-inch 3-ring binders. You get a pack of, I think, 12 or 15 CDs.
No, there's 18 CDs.
18 CDs. All these different forms.
3 manuals and 3 bonus spiral bound books.
Exactly. And 4 days with you.
And, well, don't forget my 8 cheat sheets that are laminated.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you got all the answers you need from 38 years experience day one.
So it's a business in a box. But
Right.
here's what you don't have. You don't have some bullshit promise that somebody's going to buy this course. They're going to spend $1,900, big deal, and get rich overnight. You see, if you had that promise, we'd probably sell 100,000 of these things and everybody would be rich, right? But the reality of it is, folks, when you go to sales training, and I've been to a lot of sales training in my life, you'll hear people say, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle.
Right.
And here's what I've learned, though. The majority of the traditional education that's out there is no steak. It's just sizzle, which means eventually the grill runs out of gas or runs out of wood, and you got nothing left but a cold, dirty piece of metal. But instead, the stuff that you're teaching, Larry, the stuff that Jack Miller and Peter Fortunato and all these people teach, there's a reason. You're doing it because it's a labor of love.
Correct.
I don't really think you're teaching because it's a profit center. I mean, it's nice, but let's be honest. I mean, how much could you possibly make on a $2,000 course when you're getting a room at a hotel where they charge you $75 for a gallon of coffee? I mean, everybody else tends to get rich. The event venue does quite well on events,
Right.
but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is not something that's done for exponential profit. This is something, it's a labor of love. That's why Cash Flow Guys began, because we needed to get this information out mainstream. This is not stuff that was out there on the internet. This is the stuff we've been doing this 38 years, and has really much changed, Larry, in that amount of time?
Not really. But one of the things I want to say, the reason I teach, one of the main reasons, is because years ago I went through some hard time. I made a lot of mistakes in the real estate business.
Right.
If it hadn't been for my mentors, the wonderful people that I named that helped me through that time, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And so I have this desire to do the same to help other people. Now, it may sound phony to some people, but it's the truth. Those people took their time and they helped me get through some difficult periods of time. I'm out now trying to teach people so that they don't have to go through those difficult times. And that's what's important to me, because when you change somebody's life, that's very rewarding. That's more than money can pay.
I kind of want to tell a story, and people have asked me this, and I'm sure you've maybe had this as well, but people have come to me and said, Tyler, people got mad at me when I started charging for my services. And so let me back up and tell the story. Cashflow Guys was never going to be a thing. It was not something that really I was thinking of happening. I started a podcast because I wanted to reach a bigger audience so that I could attract potential investors that I could raise capital from and buy apartment buildings at the end. There was no educational component built in there. But what I learned is that when people started listening to me and I was talking about the things that I've actually done myself, not just something I read in a book, but things I've actually done, most of which are mistakes. People identified with that, and then they want me to teach them, and I didn't have any vehicle to do that. So, Larry, when we got together, it was a great help because I'm a student of yours. I do what you taught me, and it works. So it seemed natural that I would then direct my audience over to your products because it's how I learned. So why not? It's like our relationship with Legal Shield. It's something I learned from you. You've been doing it for 18 years with Legal Shield. And it saved you a ton of money on having contracts reviewed and traffic tickets and on and on. We'll talk about that probably in another episode, but
saved me a ton in legal fees.
Absolutely. But full disclosure, Legal Shield for both Larry and I is a profit center. It is something that we do earn revenue from. So if our students go to the link, the cashflowguys.com/legal, if they go over there, that's an affiliate link. And when you sign up, we get a commission out of that. Is that why we do it? No, that's not why we do it. That is in part why we do it, but that's not the only reason, and it's not the main reason. What matters is that we know that all of our students need legal assistance. We also know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, that most of you are too damn cheap to go hire an attorney. You're going to hear us talk, and I learned this from you, Larry. You're going to hear, Larry always says, hire an attorney, go get an attorney. He even doesn't like attorneys, but he'll still tell you in the land trust course, take this document home. He gives you a package for your attorney to review. Well, nobody wants to spend the money on an attorney, but we figure all of you can afford, $20 to $40 a month, depending on which plan you get to get that legal representation.
Right.
Well, if we provided the value that we provide, especially you to the level you have, you've dedicated your life for the last 2 decades almost to educate other people. And I don't think it's fair for people to assume that you should do that for free. In my opinion, you already give it away. I think that it's worth a lot more than what you charge for it. But I want to finish what I was saying earlier before I got sidetracked with the story about your product is you put out so much product. This digital marketing guy was here and he's helping us. He was blown away. He's like, you get all this for $2,000? You got to be kidding me. He goes, no, that's ridiculous. You got to charge like $10,000 for this. And not that he's shady or anything like that. He's not. He was just saying that based on what he sees as an expert in internet marketing, that you are giving away far more value than what you should. And ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't mean we're going to stop doing that. Matter of fact, I think we're going to give a lot more value. Is that right, Larry?
We plan on it. There's a lot of stuff in the works, and that's what I want to do. I want to underpromise, overdeliver. It's always been what my goal was.
Now, you're one of the few people, besides the people that you've mentioned that are your mentors, Pete and the others. You don't believe real estate's a get rich quick.
Absolutely not.
And you also don't believe that it's easy, that you don't teach that you don't have to do any work and you're just going to wake up one day and have your money.
No, it's work. You have to work. There's no free ride. If you think that you're going to listen to these young gurus and they tell you how easy it is to get rich, you're taking a trip down the river, because it's not easy. You can make money, but you don't get rich from flipping houses. That'll give you money to live on, may give you a little lifestyle, but it'll never create wealth. What I teach is how to create the wealth.
You also talk about, and I gotta agree with you 100%, shortcuts. Education is necessary. It's absolutely necessary. It's what keeps money in your pocket. Like John Schaub says, you can either pay for a seminar now or pay for a seminar later, but either way, you're paying for a seminar.
That's right.
You could spend a $20,000
Believe me, I paid for a lot of those seminars in the past.
Amen. So I think one of the best things that I've learned from you is I've learned a lot from your mistakes, because you're not afraid to talk about your mistake.
No, I'm not.
For you, it's not about the sizzle. It's about the steak. And, you're going to have to tackle the cow and stick a knife in him to get him to fess up a steak. It's not going to just show up on your plate.
That's right.
Folks, there's one of the things that we hope you take away from this episode is please don't ever call us a group. But second, ask yourself this. If somebody that's been doing in real estate for almost 4 decades and been teaching it for almost 2, and also someone who actually sells courses tells you that there is no get rich quick, that there are no shortcuts, that you're going to have to do the work. And they also tell you that there's no new information. Then why do you sign up for $20,000 networking events? Because you're going to get to take it part of the super secret investor network. And for another $20,000, you're going to get their super duper lifetime access to all their courses. So now you're in $40,000 and you don't even have a property yet. And these same programs teach you in their training to go to Larry Harbolt's courses to learn from him after you've paid them $40,000.
That is a true statement. I've had people come to my trainings who paid $40,000 to one of these gurus, and they were assigned a coach, and that coach told them, go to my training. Now, that to me just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
You know, up until the last 10 years, I was always a big believer in college, although I didn't really go. I went for a while, but I never really finished my degree. And what's interesting about that is, and I don't want to get off on a tangent about college, but I've always made more money than everybody else around me, for the most part. But I think the difference there, Larry, you tell me, you've known me for a while now, I work harder than everybody else. I'm not afraid of the hard work. And no course is going to get you there single-handed.
Nope.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is not 95% of this mindset really, and is it that which holds us back?
Absolutely. I can tell you all about that. I come from a part of the country where everything is negative. Everybody has a job. That's the only way you can make money. And if you do anything different, you're either a crook or a shyster taking advantage of people, which is just not true. It's just you work smart instead of hard. I come from an area where you work hard in the factory. Today, I work smart, and you make many, many times more money than when you work hard.
You know, recently you were helping me with my mailbox mastery course, and we just launched that today, actually. And one of the things that we were talking about is the fact that I would love to be able to help people and not charge them. But one of the things that I figured out is that when I give stuff away, people don't take it seriously.
No, they don't pay any attention to it.
No.
It has no value.
Right. And I learned this I did a 4-part series where I taught you in video. I taught you in video with a screen recording how to analyze a deal. And it was a multifamily commercial deal. That's my specialty. Is Larry is single family. So there's software that when you go watch the video, you go to a website, and that website tracks if you've watched the whole video or not. And if you finish the whole thing, it tracks all these different things. And what we found out is that the majority of people don't necessarily finish all the videos, so they have a short attention span. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are changing the way we deliver content to you. And that's why part of the reason Larry and I got together and partnered up on this is that we're taking Larry's content and we're having Larry tweak how it's delivered. So before it was all print, PDF, print. Now we're delivering it electronically. So you can go on websites to get on the website to get access to it once you sign in. If you're not part of Larry's email list, you definitely need to be, because we've released, when you first gave me access to your course materials, I about fell over. You've been writing content for, well,
I've written 27 courses.
Yeah. I mean, and I thought initially, wow, a lot of this stuff is going to be obsolete. And how am I going to tell you, who's a mentor of me, that some of the stuff is obsolete? So I went through it because I knew you were probably going to challenge me, and I would never want to have to negotiate with you, by the way. So I went through the course material, the stuff that I hadn't already taken with you as a student. I went through that other material, and I thought, I'm looking for the stuff that's obsolete. And the reality of it is there wasn't anything there that was obsolete. The whole thing is relative. And this is courses that you've written 5, 10, 20, whatever years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That impressed me, and it furthered me to make this a mission for me to help you get this information out there. Folks, being a guru is about getting rich off of the fruits of somebody else's labor, but no investment in your success, none. Yet, Larry, you've got Forever Free, which someday I'm going to talk you out of. But
well, and something else, and I tell this to everybody. On my website, is my cell phone number.
Yeah.
And I offer, if you have a question or you have a deal you're working on and you can't figure it out, that phone number there you can call. Just remember, never, ever, ever leave a message because I want to talk to you, because we can't do it, in a message or in an email. Call me back at another time or I will call you back. But I'm more than happy to help anybody that needs my help, whether you're my student or not. I hope you'll be my student because I can take you miles farther. But if you have an immediate situation, I'm more than willing to help you.
Larry, one of the things I learned that you had to help me learn the hard way was I thought I was going to give everybody everything for free. And what I found there when I first started spending time with you is that I learned pretty quickly that if I didn't start charging for the time that I invest in other people, that I was going to run myself into the poorhouse, and I darn near did. And I spent so much time not doing deals of my own because I was busy giving somebody else advice for free. It served as a detriment to my family and I, so I learned that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
However, you also taught me to price things to where it's achievable for the average person can take advantage of it, and also to write content in a way that's simple and easy to digest.
In sequence.
Yeah.
So it's step by step by step by step.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we charge for what we do. I'm starting a mastermind here coming up soon, and we're going to be doing some coaching programs coming up as well, and we're going to be releasing a lot of new information, a lot of new courses. Larry's rehab course is going to be released. It actually already is released. We're just doing the finishing touches on that. Understand, folks, that this is the best information, I believe, that you can get pretty much anywhere. And we're not here to knock your face off with the cost. Anything we have available coming in the next 30 days or so is going to have a payment plan available to it. And the reason why we're doing that is to make it so anybody can get access to this information. We're going to help you learn how to get your money right. We're going to help you take things to the next level. But before that happens, and Larry, I'm sure you're got a comment on this as well. Before that happens, you've got to decide that you're not happy with the way things are and you want to take things to the next level. Once you've made the decision that you're going to make massive changes towards success, you're going to get there. And Larry, you thank God for you introducing me to The Secret, and it changed the game there. So I just kind of think your thoughts on mindset, and really, if you could kind of drop the same lesson that you gave me.
Well, mindset is critical, because if you don't have the right mindset, you're never going to achieve anything. To me, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have dreams, if you don't have goals, how do you get to where you want to be? Without a plan, it's like taking a vacation with no destination in mind. How do you know when you get there? You don't. You're just out there driving around. But that secret, the video, The Secret, was so powerful for me because it allowed me to realize that whatever I can visualize in my mind, I can make a plan to achieve what it is I want. And that has been so beneficial to me and everybody I exposed to The Secret, because once you believe that if you can see an image of it in your mind, you can achieve it, you can, because everything starts with a thought. And until you learn that, it's just, you're not going to see opportunity. Tyler and I were very lucky. We see opportunity everywhere, only because we believe we can see opportunity, and we do. So I think that's very, very critical.
But you talked me out of my own mindset. In other words, you opened my mind up to the whole idea behind, number one, by seller financing. And you've done such a good job of reprogramming my belief system as far as never paying cash that I can't do it. I've actually gone to the point to where I make sellers sign an addendum that I feel that if that they're signing off, that I'm not going to take advantage of them anymore. I've started doing that because it's so deeply ingrained in my mindset that I do not invest my money. I invest other people's money because I'm helping them. That's the truth. When I'm working with an investor and helping them invest their money, a financial friend, that I'm helping them, and that's fact. I am helping them do what they can't do for themselves, number one. But number two, that I won't pay cash for a property. And you helped me learn that. So thank you for that, as I will not pay cash for a property. I avoid the pretender lenders. I do have weak moments every once in a while when I need a refi, but I avoid the pretender lenders like you and Pete talk about. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to get my mind right. And I hope that people who listen to this episode are going to take time out of their day to get their mind right, because if you can adapt Larry's mindset and make it your own, that's really the secret when it comes down to it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's going to wrap us for today, Larry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we've about covered everything that we wanted to talk about. Just please don't call me a guru, because I'm nothing more than an investor just like you that has spent years making mistakes, learning from my mistakes, because that's the only true way you're going to learn. I'm not a guru. I'm not some hustler out just trying to take money out of your pocket. I'm just a guy that's had a lot of experience, and now I'm sharing that experience. So, having said that,
well, thank you, Larry. Let's going to conclude this week's episode. Before we go, I just want to remind you guys to get over to Larry's website. Go to LarryHarbolt.com. LarryHarbolt.com. Now, Larry's putting out newsletters and all kinds of different little topics and video shorts and things like that, that it's tidbits of information that helps you. It's easily consumable. It's digestible. And I'm doing the same thing. But the way to take advantage of the content Larry's putting out is go to LarryHarbolt.com/register. Or you can just go to LarryHarbolt.com, go on his website. You'll see an opportunity to register to get on his mailing list. I strongly encourage you to do that. Get over there, get on the list. We're not going to send you a bunch of spam and all that garbage. We don't have time for that. We don't like it. We're not going to spam you. But get over there and get registered. At the same time, go to cashflowguys.com. For those of you listening to Cashflow Guys, register. Get into our database. So when we deliver content, you're going to be the first person to know about it. You know, in a lot of markets, we both have a lot of listeners, like in different markets. For example, Southern California, we have a lot of people in SoCal that are listening to the show. Those that are on our email list and follow our content are going to get quicker access to new information. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of different deals, and as things come up and as things that jog Larry's memory come up and he wants to share them, we're going to be sending those out in the form of video shorts and emails and whatnot. So make sure you're registered to take advantage of that. Appreciate you coming out this week. If you have questions, you want to take things to the next level, just go to cashflowguys.com/ask Tyler. If you want to make an appointment directly with Larry, just put something in the comments that you want to talk to Larry. Trust me, I won't get offended. And we will get with Larry and get you scheduled on Larry's calendar as well. So thank you very much. We appreciate it, and have a great week.
This concludes today's episode. You don't have to wait till the next episode to learn to earn.
Head over to cashflowguys.com and contact Tyler and his team for more powerful tips and ideas so you can start generating multiple streams of income and escape the rat race.